To continue learning the characteristics of different landforms, specifically today, the bay and the cape, as well as to continue adding pages to our land and waterform book, today we will be looking at the bay. The bay is a body of water extending into the land and almost surrounded by land. This is a bay. And the cape. The cape is a piece of land extending into the ocean or the lake. This is the cape. Okay? The blue is water, and the brown is land. Land, water. Okay, so let's continue on so that we can make our own bay and our own cape. To do this, you will need 2 pieces of paper, 1 brown and 1 blue, or 1 blue for the water, and you can have brown or green, which will represent the land. Okay, you should have, hold them correctly, 1 pair of scissors, a glue stick, a pencil, a marker, something to do your labels. And I'm going to show you something else that I'm going to do with the pen or with this pencil. And I have a paper clip. I'm not sure if I'll need it, but to hold the papers together, you might want to use a paper clip or something like that. Okay? Now, we're going to stack our brown piece of paper, brown or green, whichever one you have, and blue paper together. Put them on top of each other so that they are even. And we are going to fold the 2 pieces of paper together like a hot dog. So we're going to fold them in half the long way. You can lay it down and take your finger and run it across the crease. You can either lay it down or you can hold it up just like that. Okay, now I'm going to take the hot dog and I'm going to fold it one more time. This time I'll be folding it into a hamburger. So that means that now I'm going to make it smaller. I'm going to match this end to that end. You can lay it down. Take your fingers, your hand, and press it down. Pick it up and run your finger across the crease again. Okay, so now this is a hamburger. It's really a rectangle, I guess, because it has 4 sides. 2 sides are long and 2 sides are short, but those 2 sides are the same length and these 2 sides are the same length. Okay, now you're going to open it up, and when you open it up, you're still keeping both papers together, the blue and the green or the brown, whichever one you're using. When you open it up, you will see the crease. See the lines that we folded into it. Okay, keeping your papers together, you're going to get your scissors and you are going to cut along the crease line. You're going to remember to keep the papers that you have together, because we want to make sure that we are cutting these rectangles into even rectangles. So we want to have 4. Right now we have 2 of each. We want to put those 2 on top of each other. So the crease that we bent into the paper, that it's all even or flushed. That means that they are all together. And we're going to cut along that crease line. Okay, but I'm going to put my scissors down, and if I stack all of these together, you'll notice that they are all the same size. Okay, so for today we'll need 2 pieces of blue and 2 pieces of brown. Okay, we have, after this, I think we have maybe 4 more water and landforms to make. So you want to keep these for the next time. So remember, last time we had some left over. We're going to take these and add them to that. And next time we may not have to cut. But we're going to go ahead and put that to the side. We can also use that if we make any mistakes. Okay, so I want you to mix 1 piece of brown with 1 piece of blue. And the other brown and blue, or blue and green, depending on what you're using for your land. We're going to put that to the side because we're going to use that later, but not right now. Okay. Now, remember last time when we put the brown and the blue, or the water and the land, maybe I should say that. When we put the water and whatever you're using, green or brown for the land, put them right on top of each other. And before we folded it in half, we're not going to do that for either one of the water and landforms that we're going to create today. Instead, I'm going to use my paper clip. You don't have to. I'm just going to show you how I'm going to do that. So if I use the paper clip to hold them together, I'm going to turn this, and I'm actually we're going to rip it without folding it, starting like here at the bottom right. You can do it, start from the bottom left if you want. I'm going to start from the bottom right, and I'm going to go up like I'm making a mountain, like I'm tearing out a mountain. Okay, now another way that I found that made it a little easier was that I took my pencil and I drew like a mountain. So I'm going to start on the side. You don't want to start all the way at the bottom. And hopefully you can see this in the frame. I don't want to start all the way at the bottom. I want to start at the bottom, but kind of like on the side. And you're going to have it be wide at the bottom. And we're going to go up like it's a mountain. So we're going to go up, and then we're going to come down. All right, and I'm going to come all the way down to kind of like the bottom. All right, and you can leave some sides there, so you could be up a little higher. Okay, so put my pencil down, and now I'm going to rip my paper. Still, they are together. I'm going to rip my paper along the pencil line. And what we'll do is, when we glue this, we'll glue it on the side with the pencil so you don't see it, okay? So now I'm just going to start ripping just above, I guess, the line. Holding those 2 papers together. And remember, it doesn't have to be even. It doesn't have to be really neat, but just rip it. And notice that I'm ripping it. I'm using my pincers, using my pincer grip, and I am ripping it slowly. Okay, so right above that line, I'm ripping it, paper. I'm going to come down. So I ripped up. I'm still ripping. Take your time. Use your pincer grip. This will hold your paper together. this side. Okay. All right, take your clip off. This part you can discard because you don't need this anymore. So we're gonna move that to the side. And now we have these two. Let's turn it over. See how it looks. Okay. So now go back, pull out your brown paper. Brown or green, whichever you're using. I'm using brown for my land. And then your blue paper. Your blue paper is represents the water. Now we're going to turn it over. Remember I said we're going to glue this side. So take the brown paper and look, they are the same. That's why you rip them together so that they are the same, because the bay and the cape actually mirror each other. So we're going to first do our bay. So turn it upside down, and I'm going to place it on the top, making sure that I match the edge of this to the edge of my card, okay? Or the edge of my paper, okay? So now I have a bay, and this is the same one. Remember, it should match because they mirror. And we're going to put the brown on top of the blue. So now we have, this one is a bay. We've created our own bay. The bay is a body of water extending into the land and almost surrounded by land. And this one, the mirror opposite, this one is the cape. And the cape is a piece of land extending into the ocean or lake. Okay, so now that we put them down, they look like they mirror each other. We're pretty sure that they look like they're in the right place. You're going to take your glue stick, and now we're going to glue this down. So I'm going to put some glue on the back of the water for my bay. And I'm going to glue it. Make sure that this edge touches the edge of your paper. And I'm going to glue it down. You rub it down with your fingers so that it's down. And then we're going to glue the land for the cape. I'm putting glue like in a triangle shape, I guess. Again, make sure that the edge of your land touches the edge of your paper for your water. And once you have it, you're going to rub it down. Here's the fun part. We're going to label it. I've typed up labels. You can have your parents to help you write your labels. If you cannot write it, you can have your parents to write it or an adult to help you write it. You can write it with a marker, with a pencil, with a crayon. Just try to do it at the bottom so that it matches the ones that we did before. So I'm going to glue the label for my bay. And if you don't have paper to do your label, you can actually write on. You can write on it here. Bay. This is our bay. Bay is a body of water extending into the land and almost surrounded by land. And this is our cape. And I'm going to put glue on the bottom of that. And think I'm going to do it on that side. So that's it. We now have our bay. The bay is a body of water extending into the land and almost surrounded by land. And the cape. The cape is a piece of land extending into the ocean or lake. This is a cape. This is a bay.